coming off a tough loss, and the thing about that loss is we had our opportunities and we didn't take advantage of it. Anytime you up 17-0 and you start the third quarter and you get the ball 3 times on the plus side, then you feel like you can go generate points, and we didn't generate no points. But we have we know that we have a tough opponent coming in this Friday, and you have an opponent that's ranked number 8 in the country, in some polls number 9 in the other polls, on a 23-game winning streak. And the thing about it is Central Florida's playing with a lot of confidence, something we don't have right now after suffering our 4th straight loss. But we're really excited about the matchup. We're in a short week. Got to get our players ready to go practice, and we went out yesterday and they were, we're ready to go to work. So now we get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then have Thanksgiving together on Thursday, and then go play the game on Friday.
You've been talking about this basically all year, but why do you think this team has never been able to put together a complete game? Either start fast and finish bad, or start bad and finish fast.
Well, it just comes down to, when you get a lead, you got to be able to make plays, and we haven't made any plays. And the thing, you had a chance and you were up big, and even we're playing very well on defense, and then I just kept telling our defense, we're going to win the game. You guys just keep playing. All the thing we have to do is keep them out the end zone.
Charlie, at Louisville and here you've put together some nice winning streaks, and when you see an opponent with 23 with 2 different coaching staffs, I mean, that's it's hard to put into words, a streak like that, I would think.
Well, it just speaks volumes, but you look at it, and you're right, it's 2 different staffs, and the quarterback is what really makes them go. He's a really, really good football player, and he had played well last season, and he comes back, and you look at what they've done, even with him losing some players, he's been able to manage to keep the team together, and they've been able, when you start winning and you start playing with confidence, you just feel like no one's going to beat you. And that's what they have going on right now. They just feel like they're not going to lose. And when you have that attitude, then it's hard to lose.
I know you had a lot of hopes and dreams for the season. You still have the bowl game after this, but how big? I mean, how much could you make your season by beating your I-4 rival that's talking about playing for a title?
Oh, we just got to get back on track. We're losing 4 in a row. We're at home, so we need to come and play well. And we just haven't done that. We just haven't put together a complete game with all 3 phases.
Coach, what's been your experience with rivalry games? A lot of times the kids know each other. Sometimes you never know how it can turn out, throw the record books out. What about your experience with rivalry games?
Well, I've been involved in a lot because I've been very fortunate to coach at a lot of good programs. So you had a ton of rival games. But the thing about these guys all know one another. We recruited some of their players. They recruited some of the players here. They had a chance to grow up together. They played at the same high school programs, and even some played at different high school programs where they played against one another. So the thing that just being just familiar with one another, and you don't have to say much during the week when you have the opponent that you're going against, because it's all about them putting in the work. Now I look at it like this, that it's a time for us to really have a chance to make a really good mark here at the end. We need to go play well, and we need to go win this game.
Charlie, I imagine a lot of guys are frustrated, maybe some angry, but just based on what you saw yesterday at practice, do you think these guys can rally together and come together and play at a high level?
Well, it's a rival game, and it's right down, the opponent is right down the street from them, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. The thing about defense, we need to come out and we got to play well. You look at what they get and how they score. It's a lot of home run balls for them. We can't allow them to take the ball and pitch it over our head for 60 and 70-yard plays. We can't. If anything, you got to make them drive the ball. You got to be great in the red zone. We get them in the red zone. We got to play unbelievable. Then offensively, we can't turn the ball over. We got to take advantage of what they give us, and we got to be able to move the ball. If we generate first downs, then that's going to help lead to touchdowns. But we got to get first downs.
It was a remarkable game last year. People still talk about it. It might have been the best game of the college football season. For you, the things that stick in your mind, I know you've moved on, but from kickoff returns to this to that, I mean, it's still fresh in your guys' minds how it ended last year.
Well, it's just the players you're just dealing with now. Quentin's moved on. Augie's moved on, all the guys that we have, they moved on. But it was a really outstanding game, but you had two teams that were evenly matched, and it came down to a kickoff return where we do a good job covering the kickoff. Then who knows what would happen? You get the game to overtime, then we would have seen it, but we weren't, they get the kickoff return, so we weren't able to get it there.
Do you still think these are two evenly matched games?
Well, you look at it's not so much that you look at the personnel. You just look at how they're playing. 23-game winning streak, playing with a lot of confidence, and that's a team that, like I said, when you get the feeling that you can't be beat, you won't be beat, and they have that feeling right now.
One guy back from that game last year was McCants. When you think of that play last year where he dragged the guy in, how much did that set the tone for the day for you guys?
Well, they said it early because it happened so early in the game. So then when the players saw him make that play, then they just felt like, hey, it's going to be one of those type of games where we're going to have to play. And you look at us, you're right, McCants played, Solomon played, but not many, Norman, Mays, and Atterbury, but not many other guys on offense played in the game. And then you look at us on defense, up front, Bronson was the one that played in the game. We went to dime package, so we put McGee in to play the dime for us, and in the back end, Mazzy played and Hoggins played.
You got to have an early tone setter Friday for this game, like that play last year. That would be huge, right?
Well, you got to have some. When you get in a rival game and you're playing against a really good opponent, something's got to go your way early to get you in the game. This is one of those games where you can't allow them to jump out with a big lead, because then all of a sudden doubts start creeping in your mind, and you can't allow that to happen. But when they're playing with the confidence they're playing with, and they're making the plays that they're making, then you got to be ready to match. You got to match their intensity, match their effort, but you got to be able to make plays.
Can UCF success, I know it's good for UCF, but can it lift all boats in the group of five and your conference? I mean, does it help you guys in a weird way that they're successful?
Well, if you look at it, they're having this success they're having, and everybody around the country is seeing it. But it's not unusual for them, because they've been to two. We had the BCS. They went to 2 BCS bowls, and then last year they had the success that they had. So that's a program that has put a lot into it, and a program that's having success because of what's been doing. What's been down there.
I never thought I'd ask this question, but can USF do what UCF has done?
Well, I think it's got to start with, if you look at what they've done and the success that they had, you got to be willing to make that commitment, and there's a commitment that's been made there, and we have the same thing here. We just, it's got to be one where, okay, this is the way what they've done, and that's why they're heading the way they're heading.
I'm sure you're pretty happy about the lower bowl sold out. They're going to open up the top. You're going to have fans driving over, but is there anything you want to say to the fans or to come out for this game and having the biggest crowd of the year, Coach?
Well, I think that's great that you're having a big crowd and the opponent you have coming in, and it is really good for our fans, because I know they'll come out and support us, and that's what you want to see, and for both sides, because you get a rival game, you expect that. When I was in Florida, you get Florida State, you're going to have, the crowd's going to come because they want to see two good opponents go play, and it being a rival game, I just don't want them to come in there and take over our stadium. I want to make sure our fans get out, and even though we haven't been playing good the last 4 weeks, we still have a good football team.
Coach, on that note, are you taking any kind of special preparations to play for a noisy game in your own stadium? Because it could be like a neutral site game.
Well, it could be, but with our, I don't think you have to do anything different. It's just because, even though it may be 55,000 plus, it's still though it's going to be loud on both sides. So we're hoping when their offense is up there, our fans are yelling and screaming and getting it going. And then I know this, when our offense is up, their fans are going to be yelling. But we just got to be ready to make the adjustments that we need to make, which we will be able to. And sometimes they just, just get the play call and just go run the play. and don't get distracted by all the noise.
Layton took a couple of hard shots Saturday. Is he all right? Did he throw yesterday?
Yeah, the thing that we did with him, because it was such a quick turnaround, we rested a lot of guys yesterday. And so we, some of those guys, we just sat and just, because usually on a Sunday, it's kind of just, we're kind of going through it because today they're off, but they're not off today because we got to go since it's a short week.
Both these teams like to play fast, but might this be a game where you're better off if you can exercise some ball control and take a little more time, keep them from doing their thing?
Well, I think Cincinnati tried to slow it down, and they try to go ball control on. But the thing about it, when they get the ball, you got to be ready. And it's, both teams like to play fast, but and when you look at both teams, they want to strike. They want to hit you on a home run ball. And that's what we can't do. Is we just can't give up the home run ball. But that's where they've been unbelievable. Because I tell you, the quarterback Milton, he's unbelievable quarterback. Does a really good job, and he doesn't feel the pressure. You can bring pressure on him, and the ball is out of his hands, and he can make the throws. He places the ball. When they get those receivers on the outside, they're running wide open, and guys, he's dropping it in where they're making a catch, and then you get Killings and McRae, the two running backs. McRae, they get going, and it's hard because they're downhill runners, and they have enough speed where they can outrun you, and that's what we don't want to get into a speed game with them because they have enough speed where then on defense, if we don't block 9 or 10, then we're going to have an issue up front because both of those guys, they get Hill and Davis, they can put enough pressure on our quarterback where if they get to him, it's going to be an issue for us.
But you made the switch to Bentley Sanders. I guess it was the Houston game on the kick return unit. He's fared very well. If you can talk about the job he's done in that regard.
Well, the thing you like about Bentley is he gets north-south with the ball, and he gets downhill with it. There's none of the fake, and he catches it, and he goes. And with our kickoff return, where we've done a great job, is the lane is there. It's opening up. It's just a matter of you have to be a special player to catch the ball and then can feel the blocking and see the tunnel. And this is what Bentley does. Like he sees the tunnel and he hits it, and so he can get to the kicker. With all the pursuit coming, they're trying to run him down. But that's the key thing there. Once you catch the ball, you have to get vertical with it. And that's what Bentley does.
On their punt return, did y'all just out kicking the coverage?
Yeah, but we had our chances and we didn't tackle the ball. We didn't get it corralled. And then once we let it get vertical and then he cut back to the outside, that's what hurt us, because we gotta get down and cover. And then once we get it covered with our gunners and getting the ball, you got to get the ball placed and keep the ball inside and in front of you. And even though what they went up 20-17, we still had our chances. I mean, it was early, but we still had opportunities there, and we didn't take advantage of them.
How's Mitch?
Mitch is the warrior. That's the one thing about him. He tried to go back out there and play on one angle, and he got it rolled early. And Mitch, when Mitch isn't in, that really hurts us because he is such a factor on the offense for us, and he can cause linebackers problems, and then he's big enough to overpower the guys in the secondary, and not having him really hurt us because a lot of our throwing game is to him, and when he's not there, it's tough. But the thing about him, and that's what I love about him, he's so tough. He'll find a way to play this game. There's not many guys going to want to sit out this game. If they're injured, they're going to try to find a way to get back on the field.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.